Story 1. Returning to the office will allow people to collaborate better, create a tighter community, and allow for ad hoc encounters to inspire new ideas and innovation. Story 2. We care about our employees. Yet they will lay you off in a heartbeat to protect their stock price. And if you died, your job would be posted faster than your obituary. Story 3. Right. Totally. I'll never forget the time Dad overspent last quarter, so we had to let go of my sister and replace her with 3 other sisters in Hyderabad. Story 4. This post is making me extremely grateful for my employer. We have unlimited paid time off, and the executive team sets the example that it's important to take time off. After, I think, 5 years of employment, we're eligible for a 5-week sabbatical. Every month, we get a day off as a trail day because we're an outdoors-focused company where the whole company is expected to get outside. When I was diagnosed with cancer, they sent me food delivery credits, allowed me to move from a management role to an individual contributor role, wrote and updated policies to accommodate my needs, and actually paid me for my family and medical leave act time. I've never heard anyone describe us as a family. The chief executive officer says we're a team, a high-functioning team, which I think takes some of the sting out when someone isn't cutting it and needs to be let go, which is very rare. Human employers exist. But I still don't fool myself that if our arrangement ever stops benefiting them, I can be let go. Story 5. We are all family here. Human Resources is here to help you. We value your feedback. Work hard and you will get promoted. Our product is revolutionary. We are making the world a better place. Story 6. Maintaining our climate falls on all of us. No, it doesn't. Me watching 2 hours of Netflix is nothing compared to the thousands of trucks or dozens of planes actively transporting your goods right now. Story 7. Employee bonuses that are based on the company's results for the most recently concluded fiscal year usually aren't authorized and ultimately paid out until after reporting on first quarter results of the current fiscal year. Shell game. Story 8. HR cares about employees. We're family. We care about your work-life balance. Your feedback matters. We are an equal opportunity employer. Everybody needs to be in the office because the human connection matters. Story 9. We do not have the funds for XYZ, you just have to deal with the problem. My company just gave out $107 million in dividends, but no money to fix the leaky pipes or unclog the toilets. Story 10. Them. We can't justify paying you that much. Me. Okay. Forget it, I'm out of here. Talk to friends 3 months later. New person at $5 minimum over what I was making with less experience and knowledge. 3 years later, revolving door with all getting dismissed while paying on average $20,000 over what I was making. Story 11. Your employees don't want raises. They want pizza parties. As a manager at Federal Express, they hired a company to issue a survey and disseminated it to employees, asking them to rank about 20 things employees commonly claimed they wanted from their employer. I asked my employees to make a note of all their rankings, and then when the results came in, I let them look at those results and asked them to compare them to what their responses were. The employees were so infuriated that their responses were not taken into consideration they made a significant commotion about it, and the higher-ups ended the false propaganda attempt and moved on. Top of my team's wants was higher pay. It was 17th on the survey. Top on the survey was respect in the workplace. Second, pizza parties. Pizza parties were ranked 19th by my team. Never trust the surveys, and if you take them, record your answers and have your coworkers do it too. Then have someone run the actual numbers and confront management with the falsity, because I assure you there is definitely deception. Story 12. We value work-life balance. It sounds great on paper, but in reality, many companies expect you to be available 24/7 and reward the hustle culture instead. They offer perks like flexible hours and remote work, but if you are not constantly working hard, it feels like you are falling behind. It is frustrating because it creates pressure to sacrifice personal time just to keep up. At the end of the day, it is all about results, and that balance often goes right out the window. Story 13. We need you to return to the office because of corporate culture. No, Steve, you just want to micromanage, and you are worried about your real estate portfolio. Story 14. We have an excerpt in our handbook highlighting that unions are bad and hurt our teamwork capabilities. and to try to do so implies a lack of pride and loyalty to the company. Story 15. That you should follow anything the mandatory human resources training tells you. Participating in workplace harassment investigations is a faster path to getting fired than harassing someone in the workplace. Story 16. We have a strict no cell phone, no personal email policy. While you are here, you are working for us. Has no issue calling me at 2 p.m. on my off day to help resolve a time-sensitive issue. Story 17. In terms of sheer repetition, this is totally unusual call volume. Hold times are longer than normal. Your call is super important to us, so please keep waiting. We're not just running with a skeleton crew in our call center because analytics have told us it doesn't really change anything if the hold time is 5 minutes or 90. Story 18. When high-level managers say their hands are tied on decisions that cause issues with lower levels, they are mistaken. You always have options. Your orders from above are directives. You can achieve that directive and still create a policy that works for both ends. You just tell us you can't because that would require creativity and thinking. Story 19. Human Resources is there to help solve the everyday problems of employees. Human Resources will always prioritize company productivity and reducing legal liabilities over an individual employee's interests. Story 20. Your company is spending millions on Pride Month and inclusivity. You have rainbow banners, cupcakes, special events, etc. Turns out, resumes with pronouns, especially they slash them, aren't usually shortlisted. So behind all the rainbow mist, corporations don't actually want you if you express yourself openly, possibly because they might have a lawsuit if someone purposely misgenders you. Story 21. Pay your dues. Go the extra mile and you will be rewarded. It used to be the case, rarely. Now you just get exploited and pushed out if you don't give them 60 hours a week for poor pay and horrible benefits. It's baffling to see everyone yelling, "No one wants to work," when it's really, no one is willing to be exploited anymore. Story 22. We care about our employees. At the first sign of temporary economic trouble, the care goes out the window. It's just business as you get laid off before the holidays. Story 23. The harder you work, the more money you will make. Reality, you will learn the ins and outs of a company, then have to deal with people playing dumb to make you take on more responsibility with a minimal change in pay. Story 24. That a performance improvement plan is a genuine attempt to help the employee, rather than a legal mechanism that sets them up to fail so you can fire them. Story 25. This employee survey is completely anonymous. Don't ever trust that. I naively provided some honest negative feedback about sales goals and how hard we were pushed back when I worked in a bank branch, and a week later I was put on an action plan with my branch and district manager about my attitude at work. For context, I was a good banker with either a meets or exceeds review year after year, and I never spoke with anyone about what I thought about the sales pressure. Yet this happened completely coincidentally after a survey. Yep. Story 26. We offer unlimited vacation time because it means they never have to pay you for accrued time when you leave, and they have done the studies that show people take less time off when it is unlimited because every time you ask for it, psychologically you are thinking, does my boss think I am taking too much time off? Story 27. Due to unusual call volume, our hold times may be longer than normal. We all know that you're too cheap to hire more call center employees and are trying to hold out until you can replace them with artificial intelligence. Story 28. Due to increased costs and inflation, we have no choice but to raise rates for our consumers. Next earnings announcement. We are pleased to report record profits, and as a result, we want to reward our top executives with a 50% increase in salary. Story 29. Merit-based promotions. Just tell me that it's based on how much money I generate from our clients. I wouldn't have wasted my time on thought leadership writing articles. Story 30. We care about our employees. No, you are just a number and replaceable tomorrow. Your opinions matter. It is confidential. Human Resources is your friend. The Chief Executive Officer and President earn his pay. Story 31. When they try to preach going green and say that the common people are destroying this earth because they left their McDonald's trash in a parking lot, I am not advocating for littering. I hate that. Story 32. Pay, bonuses, and commission are up to a certain amount. Yeah, you'll never see that amount. The best person in their best location might occasionally see that, but that's it. I found a good general rule of thumb is when you see up to next to any pay information, take a good 20 to 30% off of it to get the real figure. Story 33. We have to focus on cost savings this year because last year wasn't as profitable. Let's change out all the artwork in the building, as it felt old, and replace the cubicle chairs because they do not match. There is constant manager travel, catered lunches, and off-site meetings 2 blocks away when we have a large meeting and training area in the building. Story 34. Hard work pays off. It helps them squeeze more blood from a stone. Maybe it will get you something, but usually it just leads to them assigning you more work as a baseline. Story 35. What this post shows is that companies lie about everything, which is why it is so ridiculous that they are shocked when their employees are not very loyal to them. Story 36. Our menus have changed. How do you know? I may have called 5 minutes ago. Even if I didn't, it's really unreasonable of you to assume that I'm going to waste space in my brain remembering what your menus are. And if I didn't remember them, why should I care whether they've changed? It's not just misleading almost all the time. It's a complete waste of my time telling me. Story 37. Human resources is there to protect the employees. Human resources exists to protect the company. Always, everywhere, without exception. Your company did not hire people and spend investors' money to protect you from the company. Story 38. 1. We are experiencing higher than normal call volume. 2. Your opinions are valued by us. 3. Our online help portal is an easy and fun way to get the answers you need. 4. Employee retention is immensely important to us. That is why we offer very competitive compensation packages. Story 39. When most job postings or employers say flexible hours, it usually means that they need you to be flexible to work anytime, like nights and weekends, even if you need them off. Story 40. We value your work. No, they do not. Before you work at any company, try to find out how many people work there before you, how often workers change, and so on. If you can, ask the employees themselves even before you apply. They can offer you benefits if you work longer there, but that is usually a sign that they are trying to entice you to stay because they have trouble with employee retention due to how badly they treat their employees. If the company has many employees that have been there for a couple of months or years at best, while the company itself has been in operation at the location for many years, it is a sign that people keep quitting. Also, employees who have been there longer will immediately initiate the new ones and will reveal just how badly their bosses and managers treat them. Story 41. At XYZ Corporation, we put the customer's interests first. Now, at a publicly held company, the management has a legal and fiduciary duty to put shareholder value ahead of everything. They can be sued if they do not. Story 42. Annual reviews are actually nonsense for various reasons and explain why quiet quitting was and still is a thing. You can go above and beyond and do more than your job description and still meets expectations, because the company has a bell curve that has to be maintained. How can 2 people with the same job and different actual performances get the same rating? You can write whatever details you want in each person's review, but the end result is still the same. They both meet expectations. On the flip side, you can meet expectations and the company doesn't. Meaning you may not get a bonus 1 year, but your chief executive officer still does. I'm sorry, if the chief executive officer doesn't meet shareholder expectations, how come they still get paid a bonus but I don't? The math doesn't add up here. Story 43. Lately, after acquiring another company, receiving government incentives, conducting stock buybacks, and distributing large executive bonus payouts, it was stated that there will not be layoffs. Story 44. That the common person needs to do their part for the planet. Of course, recycling and going green are good for the average person, but by no means will the citizens of Australia ever compare to what the corporations do to Australia. Story 45. You are our most valuable asset only when we need you to produce. You become redundant as soon as we need to balance the book, forecast, or make investors happy. Story 46. We are a family. Work-life balance. Human resources is here for you. We value your feedback. Work hard, and you will be rewarded accordingly. Everyone here is important.